a steamy night from the ranch in San Bernardino. It's the high school game of the week. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Rod Schemp, and along with Norte Vista head football coach Ken Batdorf, happy to bring you all the exciting action of this evening's Inland Empire All-Star Football Classic, featuring some of the best seniors from San Bernardino County and Riverside County. And we're about ready for the national anthem. People are standing. It's going to be sung tonight by Lindsay Ridgway of ABC's Boy Meets World, Riverside Poly's Daphne Arita, and Ryan Clover from Central Middle School in Riverside. Fine rendition of our national anthem. Coach Batdorf and I will be back to take a look at the starting lineups and the kickoff for tonight's All-Star football game right after these messages. Royce Boone takes the opening kickoff for tonight's football game, brings it up around the 13-yard line where he's hit by Jason Scherer, and this ball game is underway. Well, I want to welcome Norte Vista's head football coach Ken Batdorf. Ken, actually, you've done a high school football game of the week on Charter more recently than I did. I was out of town for that great Norco championship game, and so I want to get some of your insight into this game. Right now, Jason Fife has his team up to the line of scrimmage, sends Bogerin in motion. Little hook and ladder in the backfield isn't going to go anywhere. Didn't fool anybody on the San Bernardino side of things. Isaiah Green making the tackle.
Well, little flair for the a surprise there. I didn't expect anything like that quite so early. In All-Star games, there's rules and regulations, and I have no idea if they threw them out the door already. We weren't allowed stuff like that when I coached this 3 years ago.
So Isaiah Green, number 7, making the tackle. And, of course, for Riverside County's All-Stars, they're led out there by the quarterback out of Temescal Canyon, Jason Five. Big 6'4", 210-pounder. He's back. He wants to throw, complete to Bogerin on the left side, up the sideline, up across the 30-yard line before he's brought down by Vinny Fazio. Nice little rollout, throwing against the grain by Jason Fife.
Hey, Jason's a tremendous athlete. We had to face him for the last 3 years when he was at Temescal Canyon. Great athlete. He's got a super arm. He's got good feet. He's a big body. If you look at him and you see his potential, you understand why the University of Oregon's interested and excited about having him come up there.
He was a catcher in his early years on the Temescal Canyon baseball team and was their star pitcher this year for the Titans. He has a 1st and 10 for his team. Little draw play inside. Earl Lindsay out of North High School with the carry. Earl gets it across the 35-yard line. Jason Scherer making the tackle. And Earl Lindsay, so explosive, the North High School running back, just really came into his own during the CIF playoffs a year and a half ago.
Yeah, in fact, I saw a lot of those games, and he is a combination of speed and power, and you got to tip your hat, though, to that front line. They got a nice little surge, and then Earl got up in there and churned out at about an extra yard or two.
The ball right in front of us at the Riverside 35-yard line. and 5 back. He wants to throw again. All kinds of time. He's got a man open and just overthrows Malaki Lessa at the 30-yard line of San Bernardino. That had 6 points all over it.
There's a guy who's very underrated, Lesse, who we see all the time. And when we were at Norte Vista, he would catch balls, make some incredible catches. He's got speed. He's a good-sized receiver. He's 6 foot tall. But for a lot of corners, it's tough to handle him because he's also heavy. He's on 205 pounds. So when you play man-to-man with him, you better be real physical with this kid because he's going to be physical right back.
3rd down, 7 yards to go. Lessie out of Hemet, headed for Saddleback Junior College, comes here to the near side of the football field. 5 back, wants to throw on 3rd and 7, sets up the draw to Bogren, and he can't handle the football. And so Riverside County is going to be forced to punt the football away. Darnell Hearns in on the coverage.
I really like that call, though. That's a great call. They had the pursuit. If the guy catches that ball, it's a 1st down. They had great blocking downfield. I saw the big kid out of Rupa Valley, Brian Sanders, lay somebody out. You know, obviously it's tough on screens. That's a timing pattern, or it takes some time playing with each other to develop. Tip your hat, though. It's a good call and good effort.
Eisenhower's Terrell Hall and Lamar Anderson are back deep to receive the kick. Lamar Anderson out of A.B. Miller. Jake Lake will be doing the kicking for the Riverside squad. He doesn't get all of that one, sends it straight up in the air. Hall comes up, looks at it. It takes a San Bernardino bounce. They're going to take over with excellent field position when we return to the ranch in San Bernardino right after these messages. Takes the handoff, picks up little or no yardage. They had a lot of motion. Corey Kipp making the tackle, and boy, that's a name that is very familiar to Riverside County sports fans.
Oh, he's a tremendous athlete at defensive end. And I talked about it earlier when we were talking about Joe Weber. If Joe Weber gets a couple steps and gets going downhill, he's one of the best backs I've ever seen. He's not as quick on the first step, but once he gets going, he's awesome. What I noticed there was the motion. They had a hot, which means they had 2 receivers and 1 defender. You might see them come back to that. There's the motion.
There's the motion. They spread it out once again. Shepard back, wants to throw, but he's going to go down for a 7-yard loss. Great pressure by Riverside County's defense, led by, no surprise, by Corey Kipp. Kipp and Brock Dustin, of course, big guys out of Riverside. Adam Wade helping out inside for Riverside County. Wade out of Valley View on his way to Colorado State. A lot of these guys, Coach, are headed to big-time college programs.
There's so much talent out there. It's amazing. Both sides. I mean, San Bernardino as well as Riverside, they've got young men that are talented as well as good students because they're getting these scholarships, and you can't be a knucklehead and get a scholarship anymore. Those days are gone.
Royce Boone comes off of the football field. Big 3rd down and 21 situation now. Shepard out of Fontana back. He's going to launch it high down the sideline. A lot of pushing and shoving down there. Tawan Mayfield, the intended receiver. Actually, I think down there it was intended for Scott Hallis.
One thing that you're going to notice, and this is something that just takes a lot of timing, is I think the quick passes will be a lot more effective than the drop back, the 5-step and 7-step type passes. If San Bernardino comes back and does a 3-step drop back the way that they didn't adjust to the motion, they'll be a lot more effective. They only had 1 defender, but by doing the deep drop, they got the sack.
Jonathan Palmer out of Eisenhower High School. Actually, they're going to have Bogren back to receive. And that should be Palmer back there to do the kicking, but it doesn't look like him. So Palmer's not going to do the punting. He'll do the place kicking tonight. Instead, doing the punting was Ben Burrows out of Altaloma High School. A fumble, the ball's on the ground. And recovering it is Ethan Koss. Boy, that would have been a huge turnover for Riverside County. So Ben Burrows with a nice punt.
They had good hang time. They had coverage get down there. Sometimes in these all-star games, is who can make the less number of mistakes.
So 1st and 10. for Riverside County. We're still hoping to get some a view of the game on our monitor here from our vantage point at the 35-yard line. It helps us out a little bit, but we'll do the best that we can. A fine crowd here at the ranch in San Bernardino. 1st and 10, 35-yard line for Riverside County. Handoff inside to Royce Boone. Nothing doing there. He might have gotten a yard, and that's all. Robert Demas and Shaheed Richardson making the tackle for San Bernardino County. Robert Demas heading for the Marines out of Rancho Cucamonga High School.
Well, they try to drop
1, 2, 3.
Well, we can hear Rich Gardner doing his test down on the field. Hope you don't hear the same at home. 2nd down and 10 yards to go. Let's go down to Rich.
Palmer. Thanks, Rod. Well, here's a name you're very familiar with, John Palmer out of Ike Eisenhower, the kicker. Might be a very key factor in the game today. He's got a very great leg. John, tell us where you're going to go to college.
I'm going to college at Chaffey next year.
Okay, so you're going to stay local. Who offered you walk-ons or scholarships? Who showed interest?
UCLA, University of Oregon. I had a couple from Ohio and Idaho and everything, but I just didn't have the money to go all the way out there and walk on.
Okay, one of the key factors in tonight's game. Thanks, John. He might be, as you notice, he has a very good leg. Back to you, Rod.
That's Jonathan Palmer, and if an opportunity comes up for them to need a field goal, Jonathan is capable of kicking that ball at least 50 yards. He has quite a foot. Had a great senior season for Eisenhower High School.
On the play we missed, a play action, and Hallis from Norco was open, and Fife got him the ball. Unfortunately, wasn't able to hold on, but it was a good route and another good call. I like the way they're mixing it up with the pass and the run.
Well, we've lost all audio out here as far as noise of the crowd, so once again, I just hope that we're on the air. Jason Fife rolling to his left against the grain, flicks it over the head of his intended receiver. That's big number 90. Robin Braniger, the intended receiver. That's going to bring up 4th down 10, and so we're going to see another punt by Riverside County.
Again, another play action fake. I think if Braniger pushes that up a little bit more in the middle, is so much across, he'll be more open.
Well, we've got our monitor so we can see what's going on, as well as you folks at home. Glad that's here. Jake Lake back to do the punting, standing inside his own 25. He'll put it in the air at the 30, and he gets a lot of that one, but it's a low kick. That one could be a run back. Dave Akers takes the football. Then he pitches the ball back to Lamar Anderson. Anderson with running room. He's at midfield. He's at the 40. He's at the 35. He is in the end zone. No flags. Touchdown, San Bernardino.
Tell you what, they flew to the ball, and that pitch opened it up. That's kind of, as a coach, you kind of cringe. I have no idea if that was planned or not, but I'll tell you what, everybody was flying to the ball. It opened up. They had a great convoy and wall. And I think I might have been able to score behind that.
Once he hit the 50-yard line, there was really no one left to put a hand on him. So Ben Burrows out of Altaloma High School, I believe, is going to be the person doing the kicking. No, it's going to be someone else. It looks like number 12 or number 10. It's John Palmer. Jonathan Palmer out of Eisenhower for the point after attempt. He splits. No, he misses it off to the right. Wow, that looked like he put it right down the gut from here. So it's 6-0 with 8:06 remaining. We'll be right back after these messages. So that score comes with 8:06 remaining. In the first quarter, San Bernardino County's Jonathan Palmer, after missing the point after, kicks it in and through the end zone, showing that kick once again. I don't know, Coach, on that point after touchdown. That really looked like it had gone through the uprights. Both officials kind of looked at each other as if neither one of them were quite sure whether it was good or not.
You know, from our angle, it's really difficult. I remember a few years ago we were in a CIF semifinal game, and we needed a field goal to win it, and we thought it was good too. But sometimes it's tough to tell the angle, and you got to go with the call. Sometimes I don't like the calls. I'm sure that comes as a shock.
Warren Johnson out of Rancho Verde High School goes wide to the far side of the football field. Jason Fife has him set up in an I formation behind him. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Riverside trails 6-0. Fake handoff inside, and it's picked off by Isaiah Green. Isaiah Green back the other way down the sideline at the 15, 10, 5, and out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Or are they going to rule it a touchdown?
I don't think it's a touchdown yet.
5 threw it right into coverage. Tried to force it in there, and that usually spells disaster.
I think it might have been tipped. I couldn't tell for sure. But I'll tell you what, I saw some athleticism there.
Oh my goodness, and a big penalty, but I believe the penalty is going to be after the interception. So San Bernardino County will retain possession, and the turnover stands. Big interception by Isaiah Green out of Silverado High School, headed to Mount Sac Junior College over in the city of Walnut. Fontana Scott Shepard, who's switching counties. He's going to go to Riverside Community College. 6 foot 180 pounder. Fontana with a fine season in 1998. First and 10 at the Riverside 25, 7:48 remaining in the first quarter. Had a lot of action already. Draw play inside to Marcus Starks out of Fontana High School. Nothing there. Jim Richardson, make that John Richardson, number 12, making the tackle. Richardson out of Centennial High School. He's going to the University of Nevada. Heath Fields carrying the football.
A lot of talent on the field. And one thing you're going to see is I don't think either team's ready to lie down. There's a lot of kids out there. Not only do they have talent, I talked about them having the academics get into these schools. They have a lot of pride. And even though there's been a couple miscues by Riverside, I guarantee they're not going to lay it down. These kids are out here, one, to have fun, but two, they're here to win a game.
Well, both teams came out when they were going through their pregame workouts very, very pumped up. Ben Burrows in the slot on the left side. He goes in motion. The pitch comes back to Heath Fields. Fields tries to hurdle a defender in the backfield, but he can't get over Adam Wade, who brings him down after no gain at all.
Good pursuit. I think both defenses have the advantage right now, primarily because it takes a little more time for an offense to come together. And in an all-star game, a lot of these guys may know each other, but they haven't had the opportunity to play with each other.
A lot of familiar names on that Riverside side on defense. Tyler Jettis out of Norco High School, of course. Everyone knows about him. Brock Dustin out of Arlington. Corey Kipp, the big guy out of North High School.
Don't forget about Solomon Bates there.
Oh, Solomon Bates, the great linebacker from Canyon Springs. You betcha. Shepard scrambles away from pursuit, throws before going down in the backfield. Great pursuit back there by Solomon Bates, right as you pointed him out, Coach.
Well, you know, I knew it was going to happen. As a good coach, you have to foresee those kind of things.
Well, Solomon Bates, you know, he was touted as a two-way player, but I saw him in a couple of games, and he really is a defensive player when you get right down to it.
Oh, definitely. He's got speed. He's huge. He's about 240 pounds. I was talking to Coach Fogarty about him, and he says, you know, not only has he got the talent and the speed, the thing is, though, he's an intelligent kid. He's a great kid to be around, and that's what you want to hear about a kid like that he's such a good kid. Sometimes you get these athletes, and you hear about things on TV that they're not good kids. Here's a kid you hear about, all you hear is praises from his coach.
Eisenhower's John Palmer is going to attempt about a 32-yard, make that 42-yard field goal. It's down at the 32. He's definitely got the distance. Did he put it through? Yes, he did. And with 5:57 remaining in the first quarter, San Bernardino goes out on top, 9-0. We'll be right back after these messages. Well, Coach, so far, it's just about all San Bernardino County. They're up on top by a score of 9-0. Could be worse, could be 10-0, except for the missed PAT.
Oh, and without the penalty, it could be 14, really.
Absolutely, down there at the 1-yard line. Big booming kick by Palmer again. Royce Boone will make the catch in the end zone, and Once again, Riverside County is going to have to take over at their own 20. And I had the opportunity, Ken, to see a lot of Eisenhower's football games. One of our spotters here, Steve Baker, played on that football team this year. And Jonathan Palmer did that repeatedly, made teams take over at their own 20-yard line.
I hope so. I get a little nervous.
Can we please keep them off mic until we're ready? Okay, we've got the game going. We've got Jason Fife up under center. Man in motion. Hands the ball off to Bogarin. John Bogarin with running room and blockers in front of him. Boy, that offensive line for Riverside really blew open some holes. Bogarin picks up a first down and more before Cody Sorensen is able to make the tackle.
Well, Bogarin's real quick. In fact, if you look on our roster, it said Jay Thomas. And I'm wondering if Jay Thomas, because he had to go to West Point, had to have his commitment. We had Raheem Lambert, who was going to play in the All-Star game last year. Raheem had to go to Annapolis. So I have a feeling Jay Thomas may have had to go to West Point, and that's why Bogarin's there. But with that run, you can see why he's here.
Okay, 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Riverside sends a man in motion. Fife back. Hands off inside on the misdirection as Bogarin spins out of the arms of a tackler and manages to pick up 5 or 6 more yards. Nice play that time by Bogarin. Terrill Hall making the tackle.
Bogarin out of Moreno Valley, and great feet, great speed. I know that Coach Rocky Ford spoke real highly of him, and I could see why. Great quickness, able to avoid the tackle and get to the outside and pick up great positive yards, a 9-yard gain.
3rd down to make that 2nd down, just 3 yards to go as Riverside trying to mount a drive as they got away cheaply enough after the interception, giving up just 3 points on the Palmer field goal. 4:17 counting down remaining in the first period. Fife back, he tucks it away, puts his head down. He picks up about 4 yards over on the far side of the football field. Adam Loilo and DJ Wegner make that Shahid Richardson making the tackle.
Well, Adam is real familiar with going after Fife. They played each other twice last season, once in the Sunkist League for the championship of the league, and then they played for the CIF title. Fife made a good decision there. The guy was covered, took it, got picked up, as you said, 4 yards. I think it's a good decision on his part.
Actually, must have picked up more than that. They've given him enough for the first down. 1st and 10 at San Bernardino's 43. The first time that Riverside's been in San Bernardino County territory. Bogarin with the football, stopped after a pickup of 2, and that is it. Tackle made in there by Steve Lawless and Shahid Richardson. Lawless out of Altaloma High School.
One thing I can see right now is Riverside's trying to get control of the game, and they got some big kids up front, and they're getting a nice surge. And by doing this, they're going to try to loosen up and maybe open up the passing game as well.
Haven't heard much yet out of Kendall Edwards out of Arupa Valley. And boy, I'll tell you what, you wear down the defense and bring on a powerful, speedy guy like that, and he could really take advantage of some things out there. Fife back, sets, wants to throw downfield. He's throwing for Johnson, and he overthrows Warren Johnson inside the 15-yard line. Coverage by Lamar Anderson.
Anderson had nice coverage. He was there stride for stride with them. Fife couldn't put the ball much anywhere else. I mean, only one guy's going to catch that, and he pretty much overthrew him. But right now, you'd rather see him make the overthrow than try to force it in there and get a pick because the coverage was so good.
Yeah, 2nd down, 7 yards to go. They've shown that they actually can gain some yards on the ground.
Well, you got a 3rd and 7 here. I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back to that screen that what they did earlier that didn't work as the completion. It was open. I don't know if they'll come back to it right away, but don't be surprised if they don't try something like that.
So now it's 3rd down and 7. Backs in an eye. Will they go to Bogarin or will Fife put it up? Bogarin stays back to block. Fife puts it down. Looks like he's going to pick up the first down, and he's run out of bounds at the 31-yard line. That should be good enough for a Riverside County first down. Chased out of bounds on the far side by Adam Loilo. And Lamar Anderson also over there coming up from his safety spot.
Well, one thing you could definitely say, even though Fife got the first down, is San Bernardino came to play. They're not going to let him just walk out of bounds. They ran that far. They want to get a hit in.
1st and 10. They give him progress to the 30-yard line. Warren Johnson going out of the football game, as is Jonathan Jackson. So Lesa and Brett Johnson back in. Going to the far side, that's Malaki Lesa. Earl Lindsey is in the ball game. He's the fullback. Here goes Bo Guerin. Lindsey trying to block the linebacker outside. Gets a good block, not called a clip. And a pickup of about 5 yards. Matt Milroy and Adam Loylo making the stop. Well, that time I was watching Earl Lindsey from the start, Coach, and he was out there, and it looked like his man was going to get away with him, but he just stayed with him and threw the block that enabled Bo Guerin to pick up some yards.
Hey, you're right. Now, I didn't think he was getting that much until all of a sudden you realized after the play, Bo Guerin got downhill, which, going down the field. Did a great job of following his blocker. I was impressed with pursuit, but shoot, he still got 5 good yards.
If you can gain 5 yards on first down, it just makes coaching a whole lot easier, doesn't it?
Oh, if you could tell me I could have 5 yards every first down, I'll take it.
So 2nd down 5 at the San Bernardino 25. Jason Fife back, wants to throw. He's got his man. Touchdown, Riverside County. Malaki Lesa out of Hemet making the reception. A 25-yard touchdown pass. Jason Fife to Malaki Lesa. And you mentioned him when we were talking before the ball game, Coach. What a fine receiver he is.
Well, we saw him several times. We had to scout Hemet because they're in our league. And so is Temescal. It's kind of interesting. You have 2 guys from the same league hooking up. But you got to give the offensive line good job. They had great protection. But Malaki's got good size. He had great separation there on the fade. Fife put it right on the money, and it's a touchdown.
So Jake Lake will attempt to tack on the point after. And it is blocked. So both squads missing on the point after touchdown. Darnell Hearns making the block for San Bernardino. 2:05 remaining in the first quarter. We've got a ball game, folks. 9-6, San Bernardino County on top. We'll be right back after these messages. Lamar Anderson watches Lake's kickoff roll out of bounds, and that is one of the worst things you can see with the new rule. When did that rule come in, Coach, when it's out of bounds on the kickoff? I remember years ago it used to be a 5-yard penalty, then you kick over, but now they just bring it out to the 35, don't they?
Well, you actually have your choice. You can move them 5 yards back and make them re-kick it, and sometimes if you have a lot of speed and talent, you may want them to do that, or you can take it on the 35. In fact, that looks like what Coach Monger has opted to do. He's got a ton of talent back there. Unfortunately, Lake's having some problems. He says, hey, I got a lot of skilled kids back here. I got a lot of speed. This is an all-star game. Let's have fun. I think one of the reasons they initially started doing that about 10 years ago was to speed up the game.
Well, a lot of rules that are designed to speed up the game sometimes take a lot away from the game, and you like to see the run back. Fans love to see kickoff returns. Lamar Anderson and Chino's Akers are back deep to receive. David Akers, fine young man, 6'1", 175-pounder. Played for John Monger the last 3 seasons, transferred over from Don Lugo High School. And once again, Lake has it go out of bounds, so obviously Lake respects that speed back there, Coach.
Oh, absolutely. I've heard about both kids back there, being able to just flat out fly. And when you hear somebody that could fly, they could run. And I'm just looking at the coverage team from Riverside, and they got some kids on there. It's funny when you see all-stars playing special teams. You got guys who are probably normally never doing that because coaches are afraid they're going to get hurt. But when you have an all-star team, you get guys like Corey Kipp as a kill guy or, a cover guy on a kickoff team. You don't see it very often. There's a big young man that can run.
You got Lamar Anderson who runs a 4.340, but on the kickoff return side for Riverside, they have Corey Kipp coming down the field. Can you imagine that? A little 4.3 sprinter running into Corey Kipp at full speed?
It would be a collision.
Oh, man. All right, San Bernardino County with the lead and the football with 2:05 to go in the first period. Fontana Scott Shepard sends a man in motion. Misdirection play inside as everybody is keying on every move by Joe Weber, and he's unable to pick up anything. Brock Dustin out of Arlington making the tackle.
Well, you really have to key on him. I mean, I'll tell you what, if Joe Weber squares his shoulders and gets a step, you know, even though he's 230, he probably runs a 4.44, 4.540. And, I mean, he's flat out can run. And a guy that big, you don't want him to get started.
Gained over 2,600 yards this season for the Pirates out of Pacific High School as they made it all the way to the semifinals, lost in that great overtime game to Bloomington High School.
It was an incredible game. If anybody got a chance to see it, they were there for a treat.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball on the San Bernardino County 40-yard line. Shepard back, wants to throw in and out of the hands of his tight end, Aaron Hosick. Coverage on the play by Ethan Koss.
Koss is out of Elsinore, and I got the chance to see him in the last several years. You know, there's a young man who most people don't know, but he can run, he can catch, he can play defense, he can play offense. An incredible wrestler, a nice kid. I talked to him a couple times when we played him. Very respectful, the type of things that high school athletes are all about.
Third down, 10 yards to go. On the Riverside County side, they have 21 all-CIF performers. And several of those were also all-county. San Bernardino County was 17 all-CIF performers. Pass inside to Nicholas Barnett, the split end. Nothing doing there. That should be fourth down. San Bernardino County is going to have to punt the football.
A nice
Solomon Bates making the tackle.
A nice stop by Riverside County. One thing that I did notice, though, is by doing the three-step drop back or one-step drop back, the quarterback's got enough time to get the ball downfield. He missed on the what I'd call the curl or the quick stop, but they're seeing that they can still throw it underneath, and you may start seeing that come up more and more.
Well, now they are going to drop Jonathan Palmer back to do the punting, so they've done a little change up there. Royce Boone is back deep to receive, and after that we'll be going down to the football field for a report from Crystal Lyles. So we'll watch the punt return. We'll watch the punt return, and then we'll go down to Crystal on the field. So Palmer will put it in the air. I don't know, it looked to me like we had some offside movement. Boone catches the ball, nowhere to go. He's going to be dropped immediately. Handed the ball off downfield to Jennis. He had nowhere to go. Barnett and Hall with the tackle. Let's go down to Crystal Lyle right now. The guy standing right there to talk to her, but I guess we'll go ahead with the play. All right, 1st and 10 for Riverside County. 11 seconds remaining in the first period, and Garrett Ritchie is going to replace Jason Fife at quarterback.
Garrett's a big young man also who can throw the ball, and both Riverside County quarterbacks are big kids. They're both about 6'4". They both have great arms, and they're lucky to have two kids like that. But, again, this is an all-star game, and anything's possible.
So Ritchie, on his first play, hands the ball off to Christian Retiga. And Retiga is brought down with little or no gain. The whistles are blowing all over the place. It stops the clock with 3 seconds remaining. Jason Shearer making the tackle for San Bernardino County. Jason Shearer out of Chino High School. We have a penalty. It looked like a face mask, and that's what it's going to be. That's a big one that'll be assessed against San Bernardino County's All-Stars.
Well, they're going after it. You don't expect stuff like that to happen, but you have to remember, these guys haven't played football since December. So they're going to make some mistakes, and you have to be able to bear with it. Again, I still think the advantage goes to the defenses. You got young men that could run. They're going to pursue right to the ball. Don't be surprised if you see something like a reverse or misdirection be successful, because they are so aggressive getting to the ball.
So 3 seconds remaining in the first period. 9-6, San Bernardino County on top. It could be 14-6, except for a penalty at the 1-yard line. Actually, the penalty probably occurred at about the 6. It was a clipping call. And there's the end of the first period. The score, San Bernardino County 9, Riverside 6. We're going to keep it right here. We'll go down to that report now from Kristen Lyle down on the sideline. Crystal?
Thanks, Rod. I'm here with Lamar Anderson, a recent graduate of A.B. Miller, who put the score on the board tonight for San Bernardino with a 75-yard touchdown. Can you tell us about that punt return, Lamar?
It was pretty confusing at the beginning. We just pretty much relied on instinct, and he pitched the ball back to me after we kind of both went for the ball. It wasn't designed or anything like that, though.
Okay, Wonderful. Thank you, Lamar. Look for Lamar in the fall at Colorado State on a full scholarship. Thank you. Back to you, Rod, after these messages.
We're back at the ranch in San Bernardino. Garrett Ritchie throws downfield. His pass is complete at midfield to Jonathan Jackson. A big gainer for Riverside County. LeBaron Lee on the coverage, but not before. A big pickup and a 1st and 10 for Riverside County.
Well, Coach Simpson talked about Garrett and what kind of talent he is at Paris. And if you look at the numbers he put up over the last couple of years, they're quite incredible. And then I saw the opportunity to watch Jackson play when he played Norco. And the Norco coaches told me he was one of the best athletes they've ever seen. So a good hookup there with two young men that have still bright futures in football.
That was a rainy night in Norco, that football game with Temecula Valley. Hand off that time to Retiga, and Retiga with running room on the far side of the football field. He gets down close to the 35-yard line before Isaiah Green makes the stop.
I saw a flag. We may have had a late hit. I'm not quite sure yet, though.
So it was all San Bernardino County for the first 10 minutes of the first quarter as they went ahead by a score of 9-0. But then the big touchdown pass from Jason Five to Lamar Anderson got the Riverside County All-Stars on the board. And since that time, Coach, Riverside County has been able to move the football, not necessarily scoring, but they seem to be far more confident with their hands on the ball.
Well, I think what they did is they got, in a term I would call down and dirty. They're getting after it on the ground, and then they're opening up the passing game by doing that. If you look at the front kids up front, I mean, you talk about some beef. They have beef. And after reading Coach Monger's comments and hearing what he said about him, you know, he's well aware of that they got some big kids up there, and they're making some holes, and those backs are quite talented, and they're getting through and getting positive yards.
Big time penalty assessed against Riverside County, so they're moved all the way back into their own territory now. Back at their own 48-yard line. Just the start of the second period. The ranch in San Bernardino. If you folks haven't been here, you ought to make the drive over. Beautiful facility where the Dodgers Class A affiliate, the Stampede, plays their baseball. 1st and 10 at the 48. Hand off to Retiga. Boy, that kid is explosive with the football. Jason Scher making the tackle. Retiga out of La Quinta High School, undecided as to where he's going to attend college, but I tell you, whoever gets him is going to get a good one. Yeah,
and one of the problems you run into with some of these young men is they look at him, and if you look at him, he's only about 5'6", 5'7", but slasher, dasher, and unfortunately sometimes colleges look at a guy and say, okay, he's not tall enough to play, but they don't look at the inside. They don't look at a kid's heart or what the kid can actually do. They just say, okay, he's only 5'6" or 5'7", and he can't play.
5'7", 174-pounder, all CIF performer out of La Quinta. Bugarin back into the backfield. Lindsay, the fullback, backs in an eye. Pass over the middle and almost intercepted again by San Bernardino County. Cody Sorensen had a shot. The pass was intended for Branniger. Robin Branniger out of North High School. That could have been another disaster there. Went right through Branniger's hands, and Sorensen had position, just unable to make the grab.
Oh, no huddle play here.
3rd down. 2 yards to go. Handoff inside to Royce Boone, and Boone has the 1st down and more as he gets down to the 32-yard line. Ike's Terrio Hall and Vinny Fazio making the tackle. Vinny Fazio out of Fontana High School.
I don't know if you noticed, but the no huddle with a bunch of kids coming out the sideline, you had Corey Kipp leading that play. An interesting lead blocker. I don't know if he was used at North in that capacity, but he did a great job there of moving out some people.
Well, you know, the guy's just a phenomenal athlete. We have a timeout on the football field. 10-10 remaining in the first half. The score, San Bernardino on top, 9-6 over Riverside County. We'll be right back. First and 10 for Riverside County. And the pass is intercepted. Isaiah Green once again with an interception for San Bernardino County. And they take over 1st and 10. The pass was intended for Brett Johnson.
Great athleticism. I'm sure Garrett's not used to having guys jump up like that and him getting up in the air. I mean, if you look at it, I don't know if we'll have it again on tape, but he's probably got a vertical of 36 inches at least because he was up in the air. It looked like a good ball at first, but when you have a young man with the athleticism, and a lot of these kids, when they go to college, are going to find out everybody's that good.
Isaiah Green out of Silverado High School. Jason Fife. So Megan Kendall Edwards is into the football game on defense now in the safety position for Riverside County. A lot of talent there in that young man, a three-sport star at Haruba Valley. The handoff goes to Big Joe Weber. He breaks a tackle, gets down to the 40-yard line. 2 yards shy of a first down. Justin Williams making the tackle for San Bernardino County.
And San Bernardino almost had the big play there. You know, if Williams doesn't come over and grab the ankle, that play may go the whole way.
So Justin Williams making a fine tackle there. Williams, another Cougar out of Harupa Valley. 2nd down, 2 yards to go in the backfield. Trying to see who we have in the backfield for San Bernardino. In motion is number 4. That's Ben Burrows. Handoff inside to Weber. Weber battles for the first down. Gets across the 45-yard line. Weber wears big number 1. The tackle that time by Brian Morris of Riverside County.
But you can see what I mean about squaring his shoulders going downhill. You don't want to get in his way. He's big, he's fast, he's strong, and you know, he's one step away from breaking every play, it seems like. He will be a big impact at Texas A&M.
1st and 10, and that was all Joe Weber, both carries. Weber with Andrew Aceto, the fullback, up in front of him. Brent Byer is the quarterback now out of Chino High School. Gives to Weber. Weber's hit and dropped in the backfield. Great play by Justin Williams. He just shot through and made the tackle.
Well, that's a great play by Williams. Williams, who qualified for state in wrestling, used some of those wrestling moves to wrap up his legs. Because I tell you what, you get him going sideways, he's a different running back. The guy he reminds me of is Christian Okoye from the Kansas City Chiefs a few years ago. He's big, he's powerful. If he's going at you, you're in trouble, and he's got the big-time speed. If he's going sideways, a little bit easier. Didn't say it's easy, but you don't want him going at you.
2nd down, 12 yards, a loss of 2 on the play. So they've run a lot of running plays here in succession. Let's see if they do the draw. No, they're going to send Weber in motion. Comes here to the near side. Are they going to swing it out to him? No. They throw downfield, and it's almost intercepted. The pass was intended for tight end Aaron Hosick. Christian Retiga almost with the pick for Riverside County.
Well, I'll tell you what, you had the DB from Riverside County go up in the air. Solomon Bates wanted nothing to do with anybody catching the ball and tackle the whole group.
And Tyler Jennis, the big guy out of Norco High School, had just a phenomenal season for Gary Campbell, also in on that play. Ball on the 44-yard line, 7:55 remaining in the first half. San Bernardino County on top, 9-6. Boy, you look out there and Joe Weber looks like a man playing amongst boys, doesn't he?
So does Solomon Bates. I'm waiting for the two to hit each other.
Burrows comes in motion. Big rush, and down goes Brent Byer. Big rush, led, who else? Justin Williams. He is really putting on a show right now, Coach.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's not as big as most of the guys out there on the line, but he's got great quickness because you see he's off the ball, and sometimes that's the advantage. You put a 235-pound kid up against a 290-pound guard. You know, it's different when you're pass blocking him as opposed to run blocking. You run block him, you can move him out of the way, you can push him. Pass blocking, you got to try to catch him.
Royce Boone back to receive the punt from Ben Burrows out of Altaloma High School. Nice end-over-end kick. Boone is going to field it at the 25. Tries to get to the sideline, cuts it back into the middle. He spins free at the 40, but he's going to be run back and dropped. Boy, it looked like he might get away from somebody. He's brought down on the infield dirt by Cody Sorensen. We've got a report down at the sideline, I guess. We're going to go down to Rich Gardner, who should have that report for us. But they're not ready, so we'll just go right back to the game.
Well, you saw
First and 10. Yeah, Coach?
I said we saw some athleticism there, and I never had the opportunity to see Royce Boone play. I've heard a ton of coaches talk about him because he was in the same division we were. So everybody kept talking about Royce Boone. This is the first time I've had the opportunity to see him, and you could see he's got a little shake and bake and a little acceleration as well.
Oh, from our vantage point, it looked like he was up closer to the 40. They mark it at the 30-yard line. Just beyond the 30, you see the football there. Richie, the quarterback, with Lindsey and Bulgarin in the backfield. He wants to throw. This one's going to be picked off one more time. That's Lamar Anderson. He overthrew Brent Johnson, his intended receiver, by a good 5 yards.
Yeah, Brent was trying to get position for the catch, and by pushing off action, I think he pushed the defender right to the ball. It's one of those things, maybe it was tough to judge it. Garrett had confidence in Johnson. I've seen him play a couple times too. West Valley. Johnson's a young man who could go up and catch the ball. Unfortunately, that time for Riverside he didn't, but you got to tip your hat to San Bernardino. Great coverage.
Well, one thing you're not going to do out here is outrun Lamar Anderson. The guy runs 4.3 for the 40. You're just not going to beat that at the high school level.
You're not going to beat that almost anywhere.
First and 10, 31-yard line. San Bernardino County with the ball and the lead. Hand off to Heath Fields. Fields out of San Gorgonio High School, headed to San Bernardino Valley College. Picks up around 3 yards, gets it up to the 35-yard line. Brian Morris making the tackle for Riverside County. Morris out of Rancho Verde High School. So they give him a pickup of 3. It'll be second down, 7 yards to go. And now we're inside 7 minutes. A lot of scoring. Well, we had 9 points scored by San Bernardino County, 6 by Riverside County, but nothing thus far here in the second quarter. Backs out of an eye, 2nd and 8. Pass is complete to Saucedo, and he's dropped immediately. We'll talk about that in a moment, but let's go down to the side of the football field to Rich Gardner right now.
Thanks, Rod. Well, I'm sure Ken will agree that defense and special teams wins games for football teams, and that's been the case so far tonight as San Bernardino is holding a 9-6 lead. This is Isaiah Green. He picked off the pass before the last pickoff. Isaiah, tell us a little bit about the interception you had.
Basically, it was real easy. I just read the quarterback's eyes all the way. He didn't really look off. He just stepped right in front of it.
Okay, thanks. This is Isaiah Green out of Silverado High School, headed off to Mount Sac next year. Back to you, Rod.
First and 10 for San Bernardino County as they're on the move. Brent Byer out of Chino at quarterback. The handoff inside to Heath Fields. Fields trying the left side, picks up a yard, maybe 2.
Well, Fields is a tremendous athlete. I saw him play a couple times on film. I didn't actually coach against him or see him in person, but we see him on film. He's got some explosiveness too. He did a great job. I think he gained over 2,000 yards, didn't he?
Just a great high school performer, as they all are out here, Coach. I mean, the statistics, I mean, it's just, we'd spend the whole broadcast going down these. I mean, you got Weber with over 2,600 yards out of Pacific High School.
Most people would be lucky to get that, in a lifetime.
In a high school career, yeah. Pass is complete to Anderson, or it's at Barnett on the near side here. Down in front of us, it's Barnett. And now, after the previous drive where they ran the ball almost exclusively, this time of the football, they're airing it out.
Well, the 3-step drop back, what I talked about earlier, if you get rid of it quick, it's a lot easier. If you 5-step it, you got those quick defensive linemen have a chance to get to you. But if you keep it quick passing, you'll be a lot more effective.
Mike Sands was on the coverage that time. The clock is ticking down. We're getting close to the 5-minute mark, 9-6. San Bernardino County on top. And now we're going to have a timeout on the field. We'll take a break and be right back after these messages. Field Fields with the football. Picks up a couple of yards. Solomon Bates out of Canyon Springs making the stop.
Well, Fields got positive yards, there's no doubt about it, but he did get hit. And that's one thing that Bates is going to bring it. He is going to hit you.
So the ball's on the 39-yard line. It's been a pretty good drive for San Bernardino County. Came out throwing the ball. Now they've run it a couple of times.
Well, I think they're doing a great job of mixing it up, and I was wondering if Brent Baer, as quarterback, since he played for Monger, has a little bit easier.
Well, he hands it off inside to San Gregonios. He fields again. And they're moving the ball, and they don't have Joe Weber in there, and that's a good sign for San Bernardino County. Corey Kipp making the tackle for Riverside County on that play. It's going to be third down, about a long 3 to go for San Bernardino County. Chad Tuitamo also in on the tackle.
Well, there's a name I'm pretty familiar with. We had to face 3 years in a row. Chad is a guy you look at and you're wondering, well, you know, is he offense, is he defense? He played both running back and down lineman for Temescal, and when his motor's running, he is the toughest guy in the world to block.
So third, they're going to call it 5. That's the shortest 5 yards I've ever seen. I could run that 5 pretty quickly. Meyer back, gets away from pursuit, throws the ball across the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, Dave Akers, his teammate from Chino High School.
Tremendous athleticism, though, to get away from Corey Kipp. He's in a little bit of a hurry. He had a guy open, but when you have Corey Kipp chasing you, you want to get away, get rid of that ball in a hurry.
Well, and he saw a familiar face there, and I'm sure that Akers has had to do that many times during the season playing on the Cowboy team with the Bayer there. He knows that, hey, when he's in trouble, I got to find a way to get open.
Sure, and you know, it was a tough catch, but I think, you know, a kid like that, you know, Akers, and I've heard a lot of great things about him, he can make that catch some of the time. Fourth down, I think they're going to go for it here.
Fourth down, and the scoreboard says 5, but it's more like a little less than 4 yards to go for the first down. And I agree with the coach. I'd go for it here. They're deep inside Riverside County territory. They're too far away for a field goal, and a punt would only be a net of 19 yards.
Yeah, it's not worth it. You know, you might want to see a long count here, too, something we haven't seen yet.
That's less than 5 yards if they draw them off sides, and they just about got movement on the far side. That was the strategy. You called that one right, Ken. Who almost moved over there? It was Corey Kipp. He got him to move, but not quite enough.
Well, I've heard, and you see it, Corey's engine's always running, and he was ready to go. But a lot of discipline from those All-Stars. Every single one of those front 4 guys, you know, showed a lot of discipline. Tuitama, Corey, all those guys up front, they're ready to, you know, get in there and get after it. You still have to make the call. You're going to punt it. You know, if you punt it, you know, it's a tough call if it goes in the end zone. On the same point, there's only 3 minutes and 39 seconds. You don't want to give him field position.
Fourth down. And so now I'm sure they're going to go ahead and punt the ball away. Got timeout on the field. We'll take a quick break, and we'll return for the punt right after this. Well, surprisingly, Coach, they do decide to go for it. They give it to Joe Weber, and he's straightened up in the backfield by Tommy Greenwood, and they'll turn it over on downs. A nice defensive performance that time. Kendall Edwards also helping out.
Everybody was there. You know, they're giving it to Joe Weber, one of the best guys on the field. You say man among boys. But one thing about it is in an all-star game, you're going to see everybody get to the ball. Everybody's got speed. A little surprised with the call, but then again, you know, Monger's been here before. It's a safe call. You know, you're still keeping them down there in their territory. So, you know, at least, as you said, it's not a big positive by going, punting it and getting it in the end zone.
Well, and the thing is, Coach, you give it to Joe Weber, you've got a pretty good chance of something good happening right there.
Every time.
Every time. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Lindsey, the lone running back, behind Richie. Richie back. He wants to throw. He's got a man. It is complete to Malaki Lesa. Lesa up the sideline before he's run out of bounds by Cody Sorensen. Big first down pass play for Riverside County.
Good route there and good completion. They had 3 guys in the zone. They had 1 short, 1 medium, 1 long. Lesa was the guy open. Garrett did a good job of reading it and getting it to him.
And one thing I've noticed over the last 2 years watching North High School is that there are some guys that run the tailback position behind Earl Lindsey. He starts the game playing fullback, but if teams don't watch out, that guy has some blistering speed, and I don't think anybody hits the hole any quicker than Earl Lindsey from that position.
You're right. He's a fullback with tailback speed.
And then the power of the fullback, that's quite a combination. 1st and 10 at the San Bernardino County 43. The pass is complete on the far side of the football field to Royce Boone. Boone races down the sideline, close to a first down before Nick Barnett runs him out of bounds. It looks like they've given him enough for the first down. At least the Riverside kids think so. That was Scott Hallis on the reception from Norco High School.
It was a tight end screen. It was kind of nicely developed. They had trips one way. Garrett rolls this way. The back leads for him, and all of a sudden he throws it back. Nice call. Good development. That's a tough play to get in an all-star game.
Looks like second down and just inches to go, ladies and gentlemen.
Second down, less than a yard. Lindsey standing behind Richie, the quarterback. And it's straight ahead. Lindsey picks up the first down, keeps those legs churning. So 1st and 10 as Adam Iloilo makes the stop for San Bernardino County.
There's another young man who I got to see a lot, and I know he's going to the junior college first before the big college, because a lot of colleges said, to be a middle linebacker, this kid's not tall enough, this kid's not that. I'll tell you what, Adam Iloilo can play football. If I'm a college coach, I take him. He does anything you want of him. He's a great kid. He's got good grades, and in 2 years after he gets done with junior college, he's going to make somebody awfully happy.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball on the San Bernardino County 30-yard line. A minute 57 remaining in the half. Handoff on the draw, inside. That's Bogarin with the football. Bogarin inside the 20. Cuts it inside at the 15, then run out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Call it the 12 by Vinny Fazio, saving the touchdown for San Bernardino County.
I'll tell you what, Bulgarian, when you hear about him, you don't think, he's this, he's that. But I'll tell you what, Coach Ford kept talking about this kid to me, how great he is, and I see why. He doesn't look like he's the fastest kid in the world, but he's going by everybody. He makes a little bit move. He's getting positive yards. Great run.
Well, now time is a factor. You got 1st and 10. You do have time to run all your plays, but if you keep it on the ground, you're going to have to really hurry it up just a little bit. Handoff to Royce Boone. Boone is inside the 10-yard line. Gets it down to about the 9. Lamar Anderson making the tackle.
There was that no-huddle play with Corey Kipp being the lead running back blocker. Didn't do a bad job of it either.
Big advantage here, Coach. They can get a first down without scoring a touchdown, and they actually have time for that many plays. Minute 22 left in the half. Good pressure that time inside by Adam Iloilo and Robert Demas. They sack Garrett Ritchie for a loss, and that most likely is going to bring a timeout, and it does on the part of Riverside County. Rich Gardner is going to talk about some people who have sponsored their children for copies of tonight's ball game. Let's go down to Rich and that right now.
Of La Quinta High School is being sponsored by Doug and Leanne McLeod, and for that he's going to get a complimentary copy of the tape.
Also, there's Terrell Hall, sponsored by Terrell Hall and Carlita Batty out of Eisenhower High School.
And also Daniel Schaefer, and I believe he's out of Redlands, is being sponsored by his mom, Isabel Schaefer.
And Robert Demas from Rancho Cucamonga, sponsored by Jose and Yvonne Demas.
Okay, that's just a couple of the parent sponsors that are going to be receiving a complimentary copy of this broadcast. Back up to you, Rod.
Thank you very much, Rich. And, of course, Crystal Lyle also helping out on those. Anytime we do a broadcast, we have parents that come on board and sponsor their son or daughter to receive a complimentary copy of the broadcast that we're doing at that time. Minute 7 remaining. 3rd down, 8 to go, Coach. And that was a big play that time on 2nd down, not being able to move the ball forward.
Oh, it was. But, I had a feeling something might be coming because the way they did it. But, the young man on the backside, was it Iloilo that made the tackle last time? He stayed home. He was disciplined. And then Garrett got away, but yet Iloilo stayed with it, so super defense. And if you watch the coverage, he didn't have anywhere to throw it. San Bernardino had super coverage.
So it's 3rd down. It's not 3rd and goal. It's 3rd and 8. They can get a 1st and 10 at the 2-yard line. Richie pitches it back to Bogarin. Bogarin acts like he wants to throw. He does. He's got a man open, but it's intercepted in the end zone by Vinny Fazio. He was looking for Malaki Leza. Instead, it's a San Bernardino County interception, number 3 on the ball game.
Wow, I told you turnovers are a big factor. I think it was the 4th turnover. And, you know, if they do it again, I know we don't have it on tape. Garrett Ritchie rolled that after the pitch, and he was in the end zone. But, I don't know how far Bogarin can throw a football. That's a tough way to sweep to your right on the toss and then throw it all the way back to the back corner. Go ahead.
Well, I think one thing, Coach, if someone like me could tell that he was looking to throw, that might have hurt the play a little bit as well.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I think he needed to sell that a little bit better that he was going to run it.
He was going out, and it's like that's all he was going to do is throw that football.
Well, I know he ran a lot of touchdowns. I don't know if he threw a whole lot of them.
So exactly a minute remaining. A big break for San Bernardino County. They try to cash in on it as they hand the ball off to Big Joe Weber. He picks up around 9 or 11 yards right away. Greenwood and Williams making the tackle. Actually, that's Marcus Starks with the football.
I'm wondering if San Bernardino's content going in with a 3-point lead and they're going to keep the ball on the ground, not make a big mistake, give the turnover.
Well, Brent Byer comes over and talks to Coach John Monger. They're not calling timeout. They're letting the clock tick down. So I would imagine, Coach, that this very easily could be the final play of the first half.
Oh, absolutely.
They've got the lead. No reason to gamble. 23, 22, 21 seconds. That's Starks again out of Fontana High School. He gets it up close to the 27. That's going to be it. He actually got it getting progress to the 29. Daniel Stringer making the tackle. Clock's ticking down, less than 5. We are at halftime, folks. The score, San Bernardino County's All-Stars 9, Riverside County All-Stars 6. We'll be back with halftime festivities right after these messages.
Hi, we're back at the San Bernardino Stadium, and I'm Crystal Lyle. I'm here with Dr. Jerry Wall from the Sports Clinic. Dr. Wall, what can you tell us about the scholarship program?
Well, what we've established is a scholarship program for many of the athletes tonight. We have 2 major scholarships, which are $1,000 each, for one player from San Bernardino and one player from Riverside. We also have a special award for a youngster who has put in an extra effort and has overcome a lot of obstacles, which is called the Rose and Frank Wosteniak Award. We also have a sports medicine scholarship for an individual who has shown a desire to go into sports medicine, either as a physical therapist, athletic trainer, or a physician for that matter. We also have a media award for an individual who has written an article in the past few months regarding the game, who has done an outstanding job. We also have a Joe Delmagowski Senior Scholarship for one of the players, also shown exemplary kinsmanship with his players and has overcome many obstacles as well.
Thank you, Dr. Wall.
Thank you very much.
It sounds like those scholarships will offer a lot of opportunity for the students. What other activities is the Sports Clinic involved with?
Well, the foundation itself has many programs involved with teaching. We do a lot of work with teaching CPR and getting coaching staff to come to these things. We also do a program for our fellows. We have a fellowship program where we have 2 individuals who are postdoctorate who've received their MD degree, have gone to specialty training, and then take 1 year with us in the Sport Clinic. And we provide a special forum every year in Palm Springs 2 weeks ago where we have a symposium where we had 375 participants, athletic trainers, physical therapists, and physicians. And we have hands-on didactic work with cadavers, and it was an outstanding program.
Well, thank you very much. Again, this was Dr. Jerry Wall from the Sports Clinic, and I'm Crystal Lyle.
We're back here at San Bernardino Stadium for the halftime show. I'm joined by a very special guest. This is Lindsay Davenport, one of the stars of a hit TV show. Lindsay Ridgway, I apologize for that.
Okay.
She's one of the stars of a hit show, Boy Meets Girl. No, I'm kidding. I didn't mess that up. Boy Meets World.
Yes.
Lindsay, what's it like being on TV and being a famous big-time celebrity?
Well, everyone thinks that it's like really big, but it takes a lot of work. And you have to work hard to do what you want to do. And I'm just also a regular kid. Most people don't just think that I always have that attitude like a celebrity, but I'm just a regular kid. When I come back home from work, I just act like myself around my friends. And when I'm at work, I work hard and get what needs to be done.
And believe it or not, this young lady, and I'm going to do this to kind of confuse Joaquin, she's actually not very tall, but she is going to be a freshman at Poly High School next year. That's going to be a long commute for you going from Poly High. Are you going to be having some special tutoring going on in between shootings?
Well, I always have a tutor on the set, so I get all my work from school and I bring it to the set, which is where I get tutored on it. Then when I go back to school, I just turn it all in and do what they're doing there.
Okay, and since you're in TV and you're a good actress, as Crystal was mentioning before, they're giving away scholarships, and just to make sure we give the proper due, the first person out there winning the Joseph R. Domilowski Memorial Scholarship is going to be Scott Hallis out of Norco High School, and he's going to be going to Crafton Hills College, and that's going to be presented out there by Joe Domilowski. Why don't you do the second one there?
The Innovative Achievement in Media Scholarship, which is new this year, is going to be Amy Haring, I think.
That sounds right.
From Chino High School, and she's going to Mount St. Antonio Junior College, I believe.
And this one's really going to get me. It's Frank and Rose Waltowskinik. How'd that sound? And that's a $1,000 scholarship. That's going to Tiffany Marie Jackson out of Canyon Springs High School. She's going to Xavier University of Louisiana. It's presented by Dr. Wall, a gentleman we just interviewed there. The fourth one is the
Inland Empire Football Scholarship for Riverside County, and it's a $1,000 scholarship also to Garrett Richia from Paris High School, and he's going to San Jacinto Junior College, and it's presented by Dr. Fleming.
Okay, and number 5 out there is the Inland Empire Football Scholarship for San Bernardino County. That's a $1,000 check. That'll pay for some groceries, huh? Yeah. Some pizzas, Domino's or something? Exactly. Okay. That's going to go to Joseph Vincent Fazio out of Fontana High School. We just saw him with a great interception there at the end of the second half.
Great.
And he's going to the University of Redlands. It's presented by Dr. Mirich. And I believe we have one left. Sports medicine.
Sports medicine, which is a $500 scholarship, goes to Jennifer McBride. She's going to school at RCC and at Notre Dame High School, and she's going to the University of Nebraska this fall, and that's presented by Jim Wynn.
Okay, there's all your scholarship winners for tonight's game. This is Lindsay Ridgeport, former Poly High. Lindsay Ridgway, I will get it right before the year's over with, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of you on Boy Meets World. Rod and Ken are going to be back with some more of the halftime right after these words.
It is the Inland Empire All-Star Football Classic, and Ken, interesting first half. We had a lot of activity up and down the football field, but a little light as far as the scoring goes. For a game like this, a lot of explosiveness we know is there. We just didn't see it in the first half.
Well, I've said a few times, I think the advantage goes to the defense. It doesn't take as much time to develop the defense. As an offense, there's timing, there's rhythm. I'm impressed with both defenses, but let's tip your hat to Riverside's defense. San Bernardino had 4 takeaways, I think it was. 4
interceptions.
4 interceptions. And when you give the ball up that many times and only allow 9.5 points, you did a good job. And you have to remember, too, the touchdown came on the fluke punt return.
Absolutely. As we saw in that sideline report, that was not a design play. They just kind of bumped into each other and improvised a little bit and turned it into 6 points. And then the big break as well for Riverside County was on that run back. It looked like San Bernardino County had gotten down to the 1-yard line. A penalty brought it back, and no points were scored. Actually, 3 points were scored on the Palmer field goal. That could have turned into a 13, possibly a 14-0 lead at that time.
Right. Penalties play a huge part of the game, and it's got to be pretty blatant. In an all-star game, the referees are going to let the kids play. So obviously they did something wrong. But then also Riverside came down, and San Bernardino came up with a big play in the interception. So both defenses are playing great, and I think if they keep that up, it's going to stay low scoring. You're talking about the athleticism of both teams. At any time, you could see 2-3 touchdowns in a matter of 5 minutes. And don't be surprised, because any one of these young men with a blink of an eye can do it.
What about Kendall Edwards? We saw him a little bit on defense. We have yet to see him on offense carry the football. Would you expect to see him make a little bit more of an impact here in the second half?
You never know. It matters how much he's learned as far as the offense and defense. When I did the All-Star game, I realized now I made so many mistakes, and I think the older we get, we learn by our mistakes. I'd put guys on one side of the ball, and maybe Kendall will just play on defense. Coach Strohsander might say this kid's good enough to learn both sides of the ball this quickly. You never know. He may stay on defense. If you sit there and say, hey, let's put our best guys on defense, and if they don't score, they can't win, and that might be his attitude. But then we also saw Corey Kipp play running back. So anything that Coach Strohsander does is not going to surprise me. He's doing a great job in this game, and they've made some turnovers, but those things happen. And right now, I'd say even though the San Bernardino team's got the advantage with the score, I think Riverside might come back in this and win it just by the way the things happen. If they don't turn the ball over, Riverside's up by a lot.
Absolutely, and we're just about ready for the kickoff of the second half. We'll be back for that right after these messages. The teams are out in the center of the football field going through the formality of the coin toss and deciding who's going to do what in the second half. San Bernardino County is going to receive the football. They're going to be defending the goal to our right. Riverside County, the goal to our left. As we're settling in here, ready for what should be a very exciting second half of action. 9-6 the score, but the teams move the ball up and down the field, and as Coach Batdorf pointed out, had it not been for 4 interceptions by San Bernardino County, Riverside County might actually have a 10 or 14-point lead in this ball game. So Riverside County will kick the ball away. See if Jake Lake, who has been doing all the kicking tonight, continues in that. Heath Fields and Lamar Anderson are back deep to receive for San Bernardino County.
I look up and I see the 2 kill guys. You got Jennis on one side, and on the other side you got Adam Wade. That's pretty impressive kill guys.
Well, I tell you, Tyler Jennis, does he hit hard or what? That guy, I saw several of those Norco games, and you did the CIF game, and the guy's just a really hard hitter. And explain to our viewers, Ken, what you mean by kill guys.
Kill guys are guys that have no responsibility as far as staying in a lane and covering an area. Their job is to get down the field as fast as possible and hit the ball carrier.
So for you viewers, that's number 42 for, that's Tyler Jennis. No.
33.
Tyler's number 33. You'll see him streaking down the far sideline. The kick comes down to Lamar Anderson. He bobbles it. He's going to have to pick it up. That sometimes helps you. He goes straight up the middle. Make that Fields picks it up. And Fields, I don't know if he even made it back to the 20-yard line, Coach.
No, but the reason I was laughing is I was watching Corey Kipp, and he's highly motivated.
To say the least. Adam Wade in on that tackle.
But I like it. I like to see the kids come out here. A lot of enthusiasm. They're excited to be here. That's what it's about. They're supposed to come out here, play hard, and have fun.
They give him a generous mark, and he's just inside the 20-yard line. That could have been disaster when Fields and Anderson kind of bobbled the ball at the goal line. Scott Shepard out of Fontana back in at quarterback. Starks is in there behind him. An end around. Comes to number 8, Dave Akers out of Chino High School. Picks up 7 or 8 yards before Jorge Cordova runs him out of bounds. Cordova out of Murrieta Valley, headed to the University of Nevada at Reno.
Good there, good contain. I thought Akers does have great speed, might even get more. You know, I didn't see him come out of the pile, and luckily Riverside County had somebody staying home, because that was a good call for San Bernardino to start this game. You know, it looks like they're going to try to open it up a little bit more maybe.
They give him a gain of 6. Second down, 4 yards to go. 2 receivers split out wide to the far side of the football field. Saucedo and Starks behind the quarterback. Shepard back. He wants to throw. Throws to the sideline. Now underthrows his receiver, Barnett. Did he get his hands under the football?
I think he did.
They say yes, he did. Adam Wade was covering on the play. That looked like just a little old button hook, like we used to call it, playing in the street.
Yeah, but a nice job of catching the ball. Again, staying with the short drop back, trying to stop the speed of Riverside County. You know, San Bernardino's doing the short drop back, taking the short pass, and that's smart move and smart coaching.
So just the start of the third quarter, they mark the ball on the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. Shepard out of Fontana has his teammate, Marcus Starks, in the backfield with him. And that seems to be something that Coach Monger is doing as well, trying to get players that have played together during the season, Ken, getting involved with each other in the game. Handoff to Starks, spins away from a man, gets across the 35, and is hit and dropped by about 5 different Riverside County All-Stars. Ethan Koss, the first man to get to him. Kendall Edwards also making a hit on that play. So I think you're right about Kendall, Coach. It looks like he's going to be going on the defensive side in this ball game.
You know, I think you're right, though, as far as Coach Monger. And this is the advantage he's had of doing all-star games where Coach Snow-Snyder has not. He's putting guys in packages where they've played together. They're more comfortable. They're going to probably be more likely to have success. Most people didn't notice, though. If you notice, number 50 on that made a great trap block.
That's Greg Morgenstern. And he's also out of Chino, so there's someone who knows Coach Monger's program. Handoff inside to the first man through. Kendall Edwards making the tackle on the fullback. Andrew Saucedo, another guy out of Chino. This team is loaded with Chino Cowboys. And it's fitting we're at the ranch.
Yeah, but Chino's a pretty darn good football team, so there's a reason there from them.
Oh, it's just amazing. You read about that program that Coach Monger's put together. Something like 9 consecutive years they've gone to CIF playoffs. And as I said, he has won 2 CIF championships. Matter of fact, I was talking to Rich Gardner before the football game that there may be a hidden benefit for us doing this game tonight for Coach Monger. Nice sack that time by George Cordova. Little known fact, Ken, 2 times I've had the pleasure of calling a game coached by John Monger. Back in 1979, his Don Lugo team beat my alma mater, Royal Oak High School, in the CIF championship game at Mount Sac. Then last a year and a half ago when Chino played North High School, we were there for the game of the week. And after the game, after they had won, Coach Monger and I talked that he just might have to put me on the payroll as a good luck charm because when I do a game, he seems to win. And I don't know if that's going to hold true tonight for San Bernardino County, but we'll have to wait and see. Second down, 16 yards to go on the 40. Shepard wants to throw, the draw to Starks. Starks off the right tackle, picks up about 2 or 3 yards. George Cordova makes the tackle. We've got a report down on the sideline, I believe. Let's go down right now to Crystal Lyle for that report.
Hi, we're here with Jim Wynn. He is one of the trainers for the sports clinic. And Jim, typically we see that in all-star games, because the players aren't accustomed to playing with each other, that there tends to be more injuries. What's it been like for this game?
Today's been great so far. Last year we did have some injuries, but at this point right now, what are we, midway through the 3rd quarter, no injuries so far, other than a few scrapes and bumps and bruises. And a lot of that could be also attributed to the dirt on the field.
All right, well, thank you, Jim. Back to you, Rod.
Thank you very much, Crystal. 3rd down, 13 yards to go. The ball on the 43-yard line. Shepard, straight drop back, wants to throw. 2 receivers on the fly down the left sideline, and it is caught. What a miraculous catch down the sideline by Aaron Hosick, the tight end. Hosick out of Chino, another Cowboy, putting their imprint on this ball game. Tyler Jennis and Ethan Koss, you couldn't do better coverage, Coach.
No, I'm looking at it from the very start, and it looks like Ethan's got a man for man, and he's got help over the top from Jennis, and I'm thinking, hey, they got this thing covered, and a great throw, just a great throw and a good catch, because I'll tell you what, you have 2 super, again, I think they're both all CIF guys draped on top of you, and pulling it in. I mean, you got to tip your hat to the young man. That's a great catch.
They give him progress all the way down to the 16-yard line, so that's 34 plus 17, a 51-yard pass play. That time, well, actually 41-yard pass play that time for San Bernardino County. This time the handoff goes to Starks. Nice play that time, stringing out that play. Jorge Cordova with penetration. And when you pitch out like that, Coach, I mean, the responsibility of those linebackers and cornerbacks is to come up and close that thing off, right?
Absolutely. You want them to contain it. You don't want them to bust outside. Cordova, who I've seen play a few times, there's a guy who can run and tackle. I mean, from Marietta, super athlete, and there he did his job, stringing it out, as you said. And in this game, if you string it out with as many good athletes on the field, they'll get there and make the play.
So Justin Dale is in at the flanker position right now. Scott Shepard starting the third quarter at quarterback. San Bernardino County has had the football now for almost 6 minutes here in the third period. Shepard back, all kinds of time, wants to throw into the end zone. Touchdown, San Bernardino County, and it's Justin Dale with the reception. Kendall Edwards and Ethan Koss trying to make the coverage. And on that play, Coach, you could see Dale as he beat the coverage, put his hands up in the air, just got a hand up there saying he's open, and Shepard had all kinds of time to find him.
That was the key. You know, he did. He had a ton of time to throw there. I don't like to give anybody too many praise, but Corey Kipp, you know, and they have to play everybody, was out on the time. And I haven't seen anybody do a good job of blocking Corey yet, and he wasn't in there. So, you know, and again, I'm not trying to second-guess anybody. It just, that's the way it worked out. Give the credit to the offensive line, though, for making great blocks.
And Corey Kipp, had he been in there, you remember he brings with him 6'5". That's a tall target to try to throw over. John Palmer to attempt the extra point, and he puts it right through the heart of the uprights. And with 5:55 remaining in the third quarter, San Bernardino County out on top, 16-6. So San Bernardino County kept the ball for 6 minutes and 5 seconds on that first possession and cash it in for 7 points. John Bogarin at the goal line. It's up to 10, the 15. Gets across the 20, breaks free at the 25, and he's ridden down at the 35-yard line by Altaloma's Ben Burrows.
I really like Bulgarian. His feet are always moving. He's always going north. I mean, you can see why Coach Ford liked this kid so much.
Great run back, and that's just what Riverside County needed. Their players, offensive players anyway, have just been spectators for half of the third quarter.
Well, that's a great job by San Bernardino. You could hold on to the ball, put together a 8-minute drive, and get a touchdown out of it.
So Lindsay at the fullback position behind Jason Five out of Temescal Canyon. Hands it off to Royce Boone. Boone off the left side, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, and picks up a first down across the field before Isaiah Green and Eisenhower's Terry Hall make the tackle.
I think you're seeing both sides of the ball get a little bit, you know, as far as offenses, both sides getting a little bit more comfortable.
First and 10 for Riverside County as they show that they're ready to bounce back. They've got the ball on their own 47-yard line. Five under center. The two sports star out of Temescal Canyon hands the ball off to Boone again. Boone straight ahead, and he may have picked up another first down. Down on the sideline, Rich Gardner has the guy who caught the touchdown, Aaron Hosick. Let's go down to Rich right now.
Thanks, Rod. This is Aaron Hosack. He's from Chino Hills High School. Just caught the touchdown pass a little while ago. Aaron, tell us a little bit about the route you ran.
It was just a straight up, and just luckily got by the guy, and just perfect ball by Scott Shepard, quarterback out of Fontana. Just perfect pass, just connected, set up that drive right there.
And Aaron was asking where he's going to be able to see the game. Well, you know what, Aaron, I got to tell you, Tom and Kim, I suppose you recognize that name?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad are buying the copy of this broadcast for you. Want to say something?
Thanks, Mom. Dad.
Okay, headed to Utah State, going to be an Aggie next year. Back to you, Rod.
Well, thank you, Rich, and we want to give credit there. We had it down that Justin Dill had made that catch, and Coach, maybe that explains it, where height was a factor, as Hosick runs 6'5" back there, and that's the arm that we saw waving up in the air, not Justin Dale on that touchdown reception. So nice play that time, and glad we were able to get him on camera to say hi to his folks.
That was nice. The thing I'm impressed with the last couple plays, and hopefully people saw it on TV, was Royce Boone. He can, I mean, I know he's a speed back, but he can bring it.
He is really doing the job right now. Second down, 6 yards to go for Riverside County as they try to answer the challenge now. They're down in this football game. Swing pass, boy, that was dangerously close. That might have been a lateral. Boy, if he was in front, he was only in front of that quarterback by about a foot, Coach.
I think it was a courtesy call. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was backwards, and you could see a bunch of people on the defensive side of the ball scoop it up. I don't even know if it entered Royce's mind that was a backwards pass, but tell you what, if it was, that was a 6 or 7 point turnaround right there.
And with a 10-point lead already, San Bernardino County would have been cruising at that point. 4 minutes remaining in this, the third quarter, 16-6, San Bernardino County out on top. Big third down play right now for Riverside County. 5 to Boone. Boy, he is really carrying the load right now. Picked up 5, but he needed 6. Let's see if they give him progress. Jason Hernandez making the tackle. If he made it, it is going to be by inches. They flipped over the down counter to 4th down. What do you do here, Coach? I go for it.
They're going for it. They're putting the big boys in, and here they come.
And they're doing it right away, too.
Well, I like it. You know, don't give them time to adjust. They're going to run to the right side, right behind Corey Kipp's block.
A big full house backfield. Boone ducks underneath, and it looks like he got it with second effort. They had him stop, but then he went underneath the pack, and I think that got him the first down. Corey Kipp leading the way there.
I thought there was movement by the fullback, and I didn't see any flags, so there's no call.
Let's see where they mark it. They're not signaling first down right away.
We're still waiting.
Boy, I'll tell you, I mean, it looked like he made enough progress there when he went low, but it's hard to tell. Let's see, it looks like they don't need to get quite to the 30-yard line. While they take a look at that, Crystal Lyle is going to read a couple more of our tape sponsors.
Rod, we'd like to mention a couple of players tonight who are being sponsored. The first is Justin Dell, wide receiver out of Sultana, who's being sponsored by Lee and Cheryl Dell. The second is Jason Shear out of Chino High, who is being sponsored by Kathy and Mike Shear. And both of these players will receive a complimentary video of the game from Charter Communications. Thank you, and back to you, Rod.
Very much, Crystal, and as you saw, by half the football, 1st and 10 for Riverside. Doesn't get too much closer, does it, Ken?
Not much. But still, I like the call. I like going after it. You know, you're down by a few points here. Let's get after it. Let's get dirty. This is an all-star game. We're not here to kick the ball. We're here to go after touchdowns.
And there's a lot of pride at stake. It's bragging rights here, and a lot of these guys are going to see each other at college, junior college, whatever college they go to. A lot of them are going to the same schools, and it is serious bragging rights when they get there. There's Boone again, and he's out in the open. Boone gets down inside the 20-yard line before Cody Sorensen is able to bring him down. This kid is really doing the job back there for Riverside County.
Oh, yeah, but look at the blocks you got. You got Brojas from Arlington, who I've seen play before. He's at 290. He made a nice turnout block, and the right guard as well made a great block for him, who's doing a super job. So if you get in the blocks, it makes it a little bit easier to run.
Well, you got Earl Lindsey in front of him, and boy, that guy knows how to play that fullback position. I keep waiting for them to give him the ball as the first man through. It's going to happen sometime in this ball game. This time it's Boone again, and he drops a football, gets a fortuitous bounce right back up into his stomach, and he's able to fall on the football. That would have been disaster.
Oh, definitely. They're trying to run behind that big offensive line, and if you look at the offensive line from Riverside County, I think the smallest guy weighs about 270 pounds.
2.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, and to me, Coach, it's pretty important that they get some points, whether it be 3 points or a touchdown. They've got to get some points on this drive down, or San Bernardino County's really going to have momentum on their side in the final quarter.
Sure, if you get at least a field goal here, you're only a touchdown away. But if you get nothing out of this, well, then it's a little bit harder. Now you got 2 scores away, which is something you don't want to deal with in the fourth quarter.
Jonathan Jackson splits way out far to the left. First down. Make it second down, 13 yards to go. 5 spins away from trouble, tucks it away, runs down the sideline, cuts it back inside of the 15. 5 down inside the 10. He stays in bounds. They bring him down, but I believe he will have a first down if he got to the 5-yard line. Lamar Anderson running him down from behind.
Well, you know, on the bootleg, he did a great job of avoiding the sack. But then you see why he's such a good athlete. And you talked about him being a 2-sport athlete with, Temescal's baseball team. He's got wheels. He can run, and he tucked it and didn't get the first, but he had a lot of positive yards.
Well, they say he stepped out of bounds when he made that cut back inside, so they move it back 5 yards. It's going to be third down, and I don't know who's reading those yard markers for the scoreboard keeper, Cam, but they have 7 yards now, and that's close to about third down, 6 at the most right now for the Riverside squad. 5 wants to throw. It's the timing pattern in the end zone. Touchdown, Riverside County. Making the reception, Jonathan Jackson.
A great throw by 5. Put it right in the money. And Jackson, who I kept hearing about from Temecula Valley, who's just a great athlete. So you have the two guys hooking up, super play.
Nothing more than a timing play. Five took one step and just lofted it for the corner. And you throw that one up, and usually as a quarterback, I don't think you usually get to see the end of that play.
Probably more times than not. In fact, usually we tell our guys to go more for the corner, but tell you what, it worked right there perfectly. He went to the back of the end zone where he didn't have much room to work with, but he sure got it in.
And that was important with 1:01 remaining in the third quarter. Riverside County cuts the lead to 4. They'll try with the Lake extra point, and it's good. And so with that successful PAT with 1:01 remaining in the third quarter, San Bernardino County 16, Riverside County's All-Stars 13. We'll be right back. Well, Coach, as one of our spotters pointed out, the key now is going to be for Jake Lake to keep the ball in bounds on the kickoff.
Well, there's a good kick.
He does it this time. And that's Anderson with his blazing speed, breaks a tackle and gets across the 20-yard line. Robin Branniger making the tackle. Branniger out of North High School makes the stop. It's going to be 1st and 10 for San Bernardino County with less than a minute remaining in the third quarter. And it was important that he keeps it in bounds there because you don't want to let him get good field position, Coach, after that nice drive.
Oh, sure, but the thing was I was going to say is Monger with the speed of Anderson, I'd keep declining it. Make him kick it to him. And another thing I saw from Anderson there is not only can he run like the wind, as you pointed out, he's not afraid to lower his shoulder and try to bring it to the tackler.
Absolutely not. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Splitting out, Taiwan Mayfield. You want a kid with some speed. This kid can really turn it on. They had a man in motion, and they give it to that guy inside. That's Weber with the football. Brock Dustin makes the tackle. Haven't called Dustin's number too much tonight, but you know he's going to be active inside. Out of Arlington High School.
Well, one good thing there is he held on. If you noticed, didn't let Weber get his feet moving, because if Weber gets it going, like I said, he's a big problem. But another thing I like about both teams is people get there in a hurry. Pursuit is awesome, and that's one thing that all coaches, no matter what level, high school, Pop Warner, college pros, you want your defense to pursue to the ball.
Had Burrows in motion that time, thought they might try to come inside to him, but instead he came back and did the little crackback block in there. This time they've got a man in motion again, and that's Mayfield coming here to the near side of the football field. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Burrows in motion as well. Shepard drops back. Nowhere to go. Flips the ball outside, intended for Ben Burrows. Good thing Burrows was there because he just threw that one away.
Good coverage. Got Tua Tama coming up the middle on the pass rush that time. That time they got a little bit more pressure on him. I was wondering if you'd see Corey Kipp come into the game for a pass rushing specialist. And is that him at the top? Yeah, I think that is.
Mike Sands got a hand on that football. And there's the end of the third quarter with the score. San Bernardino County 16, Riverside County 13. We're going to be back with the exciting fourth quarter right after these messages. Minutes of football remaining. We've got a football game, 3-point difference, 16-13. 3rd down, 11 on the 24. Big 3rd down play for San Bernardino County. Shepard still at quarterback. Flips the ball outside. It is complete to Saucedo. And he's brought down, but I think we're going to have a roughing the passer in the backfield. Is that what you're groaning about, Coach?
That's just a mental mistake, and you hate to see that kind of stuff. Good job by San Bernardino to set up the screen. Again, great job by Bates there to get on the tackle, but it's a shame when you have the penalty on a late hit like that.
So a big play there. And they had him 3rd down and 11. It would have been 4th down. Of course, they would have punted. Who got in there? And I mean, did we see who made that late hit?
Yeah, it was Brian Morris.
So Morris just a little too anxious there, number 72. So that's going to carry with it a 1st and 10 for San Bernardino County, and we'll see how big that penalty really is. Riverside County benefited by a San Bernardino County penalty that at least cost them a few points. At least it would have appeared that way. And we'll see what happens now for Riverside County as the officials have marked the ball all the way up to the 34-yard line. Huge penalty, Coach.
Yeah. Not only is it just 15 yards, now it keeps the drive going. And you don't want to get the guys from San Bernardino too many chances.
So coming over here to the near side of the football field is Taiwan Mayfield. Haven't seen anything thrown to him yet. There he goes in motion. Shepard hands to the big guy, Weber. Weber, nowhere to go, as once again, as you've pointed out a number of times, not giving any time to get those feet moving.
Well, it's tough, too, when you got Brock Dustin on top of your back.
Dustin and Mike Sands both in on that play for Riverside County. So that's guy, they give him a pickup of 1 as they mark his progress right at the 35-yard line. Both teams able to put points on the board in the first and third quarters. No points scored in the second. We'll see if that holds true as if points were only scored in the odd-numbered quarters. Hope not, want to see more scoring. Burrows in motion. Shepard back, wants to throw, puts it down, and he is knocked around, swarmed underneath. 4 or 5 tacklers, and Corey Kipp leading the charge.
Well, he did a good job of pulling that down. The pocket kind of crumbled around him, but he had nowhere to go. Super coverage. I think it was a smart decision, though, not throwing it downfield and trying to force the ball and giving up the ball.
Well, mistakes here, Coach, really could cost you. It reminds me of watching that World Cup soccer match between China and Team USA. They mentioned when it went into overtime, it wasn't necessarily the first goal that was going to win it, because that was a fact. Could come down to the first mistake, would lose it.
Sure.
And that's what could happen here. You really don't want to make a mistake, because the next team that scores could actually win the football game.
Absolutely. And they've already had their share of mistakes. With the athleticism, though, anything can happen.
So Shepard, Byer is in a quarterback for San Bernardino, fakes the pitch, spins around, throws complete to Aaron Hosick, the tight end, his tight end from the Cowboys, and it's 1st and 10, San Bernardino. Tyler Jennis on the stop, and what a luxury for Coach Monger coaching this team to have a combination like that. He's got Akers, he's got Hosick, and he's got his quarterback Byer in the football game.
Oh, it's a huge asset, and also the guys are going to know each other's movements. They're going to know where to be, and you're going to see a better relationship as far as quarterback-receiver, even though, Hosick's a tight end, same thing as far as I'm concerned, and he's a great target at 6'5".
And we don't want to miss mentioning his fullback also, Saucedo is in there, and he's very important to the success of this offense as well. Fake to him, handoff to Weber. Weber gets strung out and thrown for a 3-yard loss by Daniel Stringer. Stringer breaking through, making a fine play, another fine player out of Temecula Valley.
Oh, absolutely.
He broke through. He was the first guy through, and once again, I think from start to finish, they've been keying on Weber, and you'd think that rather than waiting for them to go after him, I would think play action to him would be just a great play.
I think play action away from him, and that's what we saw with hitting the tight end. They faked it and they had Hosick open. They faked the pitch. Everybody's keying on Weber. Let's stop Weber. Let's stop Weber. Now you're seeing other guys open. That's why maybe the marquee player for San Bernardino may not be the game winner. It might be somebody else because everybody else is trying to stop him.
Fields is in the backfield now. He's the lone setback. Fake to him. Byer comes over, throws complete to Hossack, his tight end once again. His favorite receiver here in the second half, Mike Sands, makes the tackle, but not before it's another San Bernardino County 1st and 10.
A good fake. The fake was so good, though. I don't know if anybody noticed, and you heard a lot of oohs and ahs. Wade from Valley View came through and paid a great hit on Fields because he thought he had the ball. But again, a super fake freezes the linebackers. They're going after the ball carrier, makes Hosick that much more valuable as a receiver. And as you pointed out, and we've seen, he's a big target, makes it easier to hit him.
A.B. Miller's Nick Barnett is in the ball game at one of the wide receiver positions. Burrows is in there out of Altaloma High School. See if they put it in the air. No, they're not going to do that. It's 3rd and 1. They still need a yard. Quarterback keeper straight ahead. And that's enough for a 1st and 10. I thought they'd had it on the previous play, but they hadn't. Solomon Bates makes the tackle. So Byer comes over to get a quick word with head coach Monger, and he'll turn and jump right back in there.
Well, you're seeing a great drive right now, a great drive by San Bernardino. They're moving the ball, they're chewing up clock, they've got the lead, they're mixing up the pass with the run, and the passes are almost all play action, freezing the linebackers. Right now, Riverside, if they want to win this game, they need somebody to make a big play.
They really need to make a stop here because San Bernardino County has shown that they can, as you said, eat up the clock. And if you don't get the ball back with some time, Riverside County, yeah, they've made some big plays, but their touchdowns both have been of the 30 yards or less variety. We got a timeout on the field. There's 8:06 remaining. The score 16-13. San Bernardino County out on top. We'll be right back after these messages. Before Chad Tuitama brings him down. And you've commented about the quickness of Tuitama a couple of times, Coach.
Well, Chad's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's one of those guys that I remember Coach Burt was telling me, he benches about 400 pounds, squats around 600 pounds. Incredible power from this young man. So hard to move out of there. Really a gamer. He'll get after it. Like the misdirection, though, they're doing a great job. Coach Monger hasn't been the CIF Coach of the Year, for a number of times, for nothing. He's doing a great job of mixing it up. He got second and medium. He could either run or pass it because he's got a good situation.
2nd down 8, Burrows in motion. Byer to Weber, and Weber has just jumped on immediately, and it looked like he might have dropped the football for a moment. Brock Dustin hit him right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, Brock held him up. He didn't really take him down. He had him, but then you heard a few oohs. Solomon Bates, who we've said his name a number of times, came through and really finished it.
Brian Morse also helping out. So this, once again, here we are, a big, big play. 3rd down, looks to be about 6 yards to go. And with 6 minutes, 50 seconds counting down, you don't like to say it's a play of a game, but I'll tell you, this is a huge down for both teams. If you're San Bernardino County, you don't want to turn this ball over. Riverside County says, we got to get our hands on the football if we want a chance to win.
Absolutely. And I think you got a tough call here. If you throw the ball, you have the chance of stopping the ball. The clock. You want to keep the clock going. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Monger throw it.
Shepard back, pitches it to start. And he's down the sideline and run out of bounds. I don't think he got enough.
Solomon Bates.
Marcus Stark run out of bounds. They're saying he only gained about 1.5 yards. That's going to leave him short. Tyler Jennis and Bates down there making the play. So it's going to make it 4th down. And that would seem to me to be too far to try to go for it. The ball's on the 40. You're way out of field goal range. I mean, Jonathan Palmer has a very strong leg, but he's not going to kick the ball 57 yards.
I'd like to see it, though.
I'd say 37, they'd mark it back 7, so that'd be 54-yard kick. That'd be quite a try.
It was really interesting there on that 4th down call or 3rd down call, coming with the option. I mean, a lot of guts.
Well, you said it before. Coach Monger, he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeve, and they're going to talk it over out there on the football field. We've got a little break in the action. Don't see Rich or Crystal with anybody, so we'll take a little break, and we'll return to the ranch in San Bernardino right after these words. Well, they're going to go for it. This is a big play. Will they try to draw the defense offside? No, it's a quick snap. Byer back, throws, complete to his fullback, Saucedo, down the sideline. And boy, I'll tell you what, in a game like this, you got to change the phrase. Familiarity breeds content.
Yeah,
doesn't it, Coach?
Absolutely. We talked about throwing and knowing your own guys, and there it is, a perfect example. They've played together probably for 4 years, and knowing where he's going to be, awfully easy.
Boy, it made it a lot easier. Mike Sands making the tackle, and Saucedo has been doing a great job leading the way into the hole for the tailbacks, and that time got himself open. And his quarterback, Beyer, hit him in stride. Nice play. 1st and 10, that's huge. We're going to go down to the field right after this play, so we'll be ready here in just a moment. Weber dancing around, strung out, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. Let's go down to the sideline now to Crystal Lyle, who has a very special guest.
Hi, I'm here with Rod Pacheco, Assemblyman. Mr. Pacheco, what can you tell us a game like this means to the community?
Well, I think it's great both for San Bernardino and Riverside. It's a relationship building experience for both communities. And the Inland Empire, it's important that we get both counties and both cities together because we have a greater population and a greater landmass size than Orange County put together.
Yes, we certainly do. Well, thank you, Mr. Pacheco, for sharing that with us. And back to you, Rod.
Thank you very much, Crystal. And as Rod Pacheco pointed out, it's the two counties playing each other. Last year, Coach, this game was played between the East and West Riverside County All-Stars. A little different story this time. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. Handoff goes inside to Fields. Fields dropped immediately. Riverside County needs to make a stop. The San Bernardino rooters on this side of the field are starting to root. They can smell a victory right now.
Oh, sure, but the thing is, though, and this is going to be something that Coach Monger is going to have to debate if they get stopped here. Do you go for 4th down, or do you try to get it in and kick a field goal? You're up by 6. It's going to be an interesting call.
Third down, 12 yards to go. Big, once again, Coach, a big 3rd down play in this football game. They've been able to convert, San Bernardino has, twice before. There's the fake pitch. Beyer puts the ball away. He's not going to get it this time as he only gets back inside the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down, 8 yards to go, but the difference here, they are now in range of Jonathan Palmer. Dustin and Bates making the tackle. I don't think there's two better names to mention on defense in Riverside County than Dustin and Bates.
There's a lot of good ones, but those are two awfully good ones. And you got to compliment the defense for staying home. Great coverage. I think they might have expected play action, but Beyer had nowhere to go, tried to tuck it and run with it, and Bates is there, and Brock Dustin's also there. So, again, good plays.
The ball's on the 20. They're going to mark it at the 26-yard line, so only a 6-yard drop. Shepard with the hold, Palmer with the kick, and it is good. A 36-yard field goal for Jonathan Palmer puts San Bernardino County up on top by 6, 19-13 with 3:35 remaining. Don't you go away. It should be an exciting finish to this All-Star Classic. So Jonathan Palmer has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. John Bogren and Royce Boone back deep to receive. That's taken by an up man, number 61. That's Justin Williams of Harupa Valley. Comes straight up the middle, and he is brought down hard. And here we go, the final 3.5, Coach.
I think Royce Boone was a little surprised to have the up back, an offensive lineman, or I guess Williams, a defensive lineman, come and take the ball, but every lineman's dream, and he had a chance to get it. He's going to take it.
1st and 10 on the 25.
We only have 3:30 left, and I was looking at the numbers of the offensive line. They average about 300 pounds. And I was thinking, well, they may try to run the ball, but shoot, with 3:30 left, or 3:28 to be exact, I don't know if they have time to try to run the ball at them.
Well, and think about this, Coach, as Garrett Ritchie takes over, this is only the 2nd time this half that Riverside County's had their hands on the football, and there's 3 minutes 28 remaining in the game. Tremendous ball possession offense by San Bernardino County. Complete to Boone. Great rollout pass by Garrett Ritchie. And that's just what the doctor ordered for Riverside County. Rob Branniger making that reception, not Boone. So Branniger making his presence felt on that play.
Well, both teams are doing a good job of getting the ball to the tight end. And, you know, I didn't see North play much this year, but I kept hearing his name from the college scouts, and they all liked him. Big kid who can run and also block.
And he got out of bounds, even better. 1st and 10 for Riverside County. We got a good one going, a 6-point difference. Boy, that missed extra point looming large now. Quick handoff straight up the middle. Earl Lindsay. We knew it would happen sooner or later. And, Coach, you know, I've done a few North ball games. Jeremy Sadach making that tackle. And late in the ball game, this is a guy you like to go to sometimes because he is a smaller, bruising type of runner.
Well, sure. And the thing is, though, and like a lot of the backs here that are so outstanding, he is going to go north and south. Earl's not much of a sideline runner. He wants to come at you, and he'll hit you. He likes to hit you, too.
And there's a big line up front. You got Brian Sanders headed to BYU out of Arupa Valley, 340-pounder, leading the way. Bogren and Lindsay in the backfield. 2nd down, 4 to go. Ritchie wants to throw, gets it off, complete to Bogarin. Bogarin down the sideline, carrying tacklers all the way. Just Desire picks up the 1st down.
Great slasher dasher. Also, a good job by the linemen, and you don't realize those guys are 270 pounds getting downfield, getting linebackers, getting the 1st down, stopping the clock. They have 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. They still have to be, you know, critical of the time. They have to move the ball quickly.
2:21 remaining. The ball is outside the 40. It's at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10. The clock gets started again. I guess they stop it in high school as well, Coach, when they move the chains?
Yeah, but then they started it pretty quick as soon as they set it, and then the clock's going now. And these guys have to have a little sense of urgency.
And they also need to know where they're at and get out of bounds if at all possible after they've picked up some yards. Oh, the ball is fumbled in the backfield. And let's see who has recovered. San Bernardino recovers the football.
Huge play, huge play.
Looks like Jose Macias has recovered the football, we believe.
And the way in which so far the second half has gone, Riverside County will not see the ball again. San Bernardino's done a great job with clock management, of holding on to the ball. As you said, they've only had 2 opportunities on offense.
Macias out of Hesperia. Isaiah Green, was that who got the ball? Isaiah Green picking up the ball. And boy, I tell you what, Isaiah Green, really, if there's a player of the game, 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery on a game that you said would be dominated by defense.
Yep, and again, a guy who we didn't expect maybe to be heard from. And before the game, a guy I didn't know about, but now I know.
So with 1:55 remaining, Riverside really stepping up the intensity on their hits that time. Heath Fields hit hard by Brian Morris. They need to force a turnover.
Well, they have to. They have to try to get the ball. I think they still have 2 timeouts left, and you're going to see them waste both. And then you talk about a sense of urgency, you're going to have a huge one.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. And once again, there's a timeout on the field. Let's go down. Rich Gardner's got some more sponsorships to mention. If we can get his attention, we'll go down and have Rich read those. Well, since he put the microphone down, I guess we won't go down there, huh, Ken? So, anyway, we'll move right along here. I thought we might have an opportunity to have some of those read. We'll get to those in just a moment. So to set the situation, you've got a 6-point lead, and it's got to be a turnover right now. And the way that San Bernardino County has chewed up this clock in the second half, that's the story right there. They used up 6 minutes, 5 seconds of the 3rd quarter for their touchdown drive, and then they used up all the way down to 3.5 minutes left in the game before they gave up the ball again, and they walked away with 3 more points on that drive.
Oh, that's outstanding offensive football.
So Brent Byer at quarterback gives the ball to his fullback, Saucedo.
Great play by Wade, shooting the gap, making the play.
Adam Wade coming through there. So that's going to make it 3rd down. And anything can happen. Then you have, Coach, if it does come to that 4th down situation and a punt, what do? Do you try to go after the kicker on it?
Well, in an all-star game, you're not supposed to.
Oh, okay.
But that's supposed to happen. They're not going to call a penalty on them if they do. Now, knowing some of the kids on the field, and you can see some of them, their motors are running, and they want to win this game. Even though it may not get called, I could see maybe 10 guys going after the punt.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Time is out on the field. 1:38 remaining. It's 3rd down and 12, and that was the key to that drive. Time after time on big 3rd down possessions and long 3rd down situations, San Bernardino County was able to convert.
The biggest play probably was the roughing the quarterback.
Oh, huge.
Because after that, they put together a 80-yard drive for a field goal, and that's a penalty that you can't have. Right now, here they need to stop.
3rd and 12. Ball at the 43. The pitch goes back to Fields. Fields is upended at the 44. Holds onto the football. Kendall Edwards making the tackle. A lot of pushing and shoving going on, but at least it's only amongst themselves. That's a good sign. That's going to make it 4th down, so here's that decision.
The thing is, though, I mean, when they went there on that pitch, and you talked about Edwards making the play, you're seeing just a blur.
And now they're throwing a little wrinkle in here. Kendall Edwards is dropping back as one of the guys to receive the kick, along with Royce Boone. And Kendall Edwards can break it if anyone can.
Absolutely. He's got speed. And, we talked about Anderson and having 4.3 speed. Kendall's not much slower.
Kendall Edwards, as the folks who saw the league championships that we aired on the Charter Channel when we did the Mountain View League and Ivy League championships, Kendall walked away with several titles from the Mountain View League. The guy is explosive. Ben Burrows is going to punt from the 35-yard line. And it's going to be
a smart punt.
Yeah, very smart punt. Dead at the 30. Let's go down to Rich Gardner right now.
Thanks, Rod. Well, we're here with a couple of Cowboys from Chino High School. This is Brett Bayer, Andrew Saucedo. Brett, I got to ask you about the 4th down play a little while ago that kept the drive going, even though you guys didn't convert. Kind of gutsy play. What was the thinking on it?
Well, Coach Munger wanted to go for it, seeing as we were on the other side of the 50. And it's a pretty much designed play where we run everybody into the middle and Sauce pops out in the open usually every time.
And Andrew, do you think it kind of helps a little bit having your quarterback throwing the ball to you, kind of knows where to look?
Yeah, because we've been running that play all year with our Chino Cowboy team, and we have that play down pretty pat. So he threw the ball before I even looked. So.
Okay. I want to thank these Cowboys for joining on. We're going to get back to the conclusion of the game. Back to you, Rod.
Thanks, Rich. And strong arm, Jason Fife back into the ball game, scrambling back there, looking for someone to throw the ball to. Boy, is he buying time. Those to complete to Scott Hallis out of Norco High School, and he got out of bounds. Boy, what an effort by Jason Fife. Put in because he has the stronger arm of the two.
If the clock was still going, as a coach, I'd say I want those 2 seconds back.
You might need him with only 67 ticks remaining.
They didn't mark him out of bounds. They're stopping the clock for the 1st down.
All right, so Fife, the strong arm guy out of Temescal Canyon, up under center. Goes back. Fife wants to throw. He can't afford to get sacked. Throws in and out of the hands of his intended receiver downfield. Threw it just a little bit too hard for Malaki Lesa that time.
We had to get rid of it in a hurry, and I almost thought he might just down it real quick and then just take the 3 downs from back there and not waste the 14 seconds or so that he had. On the scramble, though, when you see big Brian Sanders at 340 pounds waving you over, you go.
On this team, Coach, who would you say Riverside's fastest player is? Would it be somebody like a Kendall Edwards?
Probably. I don't know all the kids. I mean, I know the kids from. I guess I did most of them, but I don't know their 40 times. I know Kendall could flat out fly, but we've seen some other guys that can run.
Because they're really not dropping those D-backs that far back right now. They're not playing center field anyway. And you'd think that on a fly pattern, Fife might be able to air it out. He's flushed out of the pocket. A great block by Earl Lindsey in the backfield. Springs Fife down the sideline, inside the 40 at the 37-yard line. Cody Sorensen, what a block in the backfield.
Great play. And you got to tip your hat to Fife for tucking and running, and he's real composed right now. But that block, you talk about springing a guy, it sprung him.
Lindsey just nailed. Was it Jose Macias that he blocked back there? Oh, man, he leveled him. Big play, 40 seconds remaining. They mark him out of bounds at the 38-yard line. What an exciting finish to this football game. They're now in range of Fife's arm for a touchdown pass. And Coach, now I think those D-backs will be back there playing a little bit of center field, but they can't play too soft when you have a guy who can run like Fife just shown he can do.
And you have 40 seconds, so you can still throw it underneath a little bit.
Well, here we go. Fife with the back split behind him. Takes a long count. Straight drop back. Looks down the field. Throws straight over the middle. It is complete to Johnson, but he's in bounds, but enough for the first down. That's huge as they stop the clock, and the clock is ticking. You know, San Bernardino County's the home field, Coach, a home team, and that would kind of almost be a home field tick there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be, but right now I'd just down the ball, and the guys just got to get on the ball, take the snap, and kill it.
Absolutely. You know, high school kids, I mean, yeah, these kids are 18, 19 years old, but having the presence of mind to do that, and the coach can't run out there and tell them, I believe they're out of timeout, so it's going to be how heady Jason Fife can play this final 28 seconds.
Well, he came from Temescal, and Coach Burt does a very good job of coaching everybody. And you saw Fife when he scrambled. He knew to get out of bounds. Coach Burt does a great job over there, and they've had some great teams, and it's not by coincidence. They're well coached.
Well, Jason Fife, as I mentioned, he was their star pitcher. Started out as a catcher. The reason I know that, he caught my son when my son was a senior there at Temescal Canyon, and he always liked having Jason back there because no one was going to run with Jason Fife behind the plate. The guy has a cannon of an arm.
Oh, sure. It would have been real interesting if it was with Johnson didn't fall down. He had the seam. He might have, I don't know if he would have scored, but he probably would have got out of bounds and got a whole lot more yards.
Well, here we go. 31 seconds. They did put 3 ticks back on the scoreboard as the officials saw it. Fife rolls out to his left against the grain. Gets away from pressure once again. Passes the ball forward. A bad mistake. That's going to be the ball game. He tried to get it to his lineman, Vince Munoz, right into the hands of Jason Scherer. A desperation toss by Jason Fife. How heady could he play? And that was not very heads up there.
It's one of those things where he knows he's got to get rid of the ball. He doesn't want to take a sack. He's trying to make something happen. It's a tough call. Granted, we could sit there up here in the booth or pseudo booth and say, throw it out of the end zone or throw it to so-and-so, but he's got the pressure on him. He's trying to make something happen. San Bernardino put a great rush on him, and he had no choice.
Yeah, Jason right there. I mean, that time, he's been able to get out of the pocket so many times. When he turned it back into the center of the field, he just had nowhere to go. And, like you said, Coach, he didn't have time to bring the arm back and tried to shovel it forward. And unfortunately, the most stunned guy on the football field was Vince Munoz when that ball came flying at him. And actually, Munoz, if he'd have caught it, it would have been an illegal receiver catching the football anyway. So that's going to be it. The clock should be allowed to just wind down. There they go as the two teams are walking out on the football field. The final score on this one, San Bernardino County 19, Riverside County 13. There's the gun. That's the ball game. We'll be back to wrap up right after these messages. Well, we're back at the ranch in San Bernardino. They've turned the lights out, had a fireworks display, and we thought that they'd get the lights back on, but they're not going to do that. So we'll just wrap up here, Coach. And as you've commented, just a sad way for the game to end up. Jason Fife trying to make something happen, had made some really fine plays. Scrambling around back there. Remember that one play where he ran about 3 different directions before finally hitting Scott Hallis on the sideline. And then a couple of other fine plays. But that one there, he just tried to get something going and wasn't able to make it happen.
And hopefully the kid's not mad at himself for making something bad happen. It's one of those things where he's trying to do the very best he can. And you got to understand that. And 20 seconds left in the game, he's trying to throw the ball. He didn't have enough time to pull the ball back and throw it downfield. He played a great game. He really did. And I tip my hat off to him. And hate to, end your high school career like that, but he's going to have some good times at Oregon and play quite well up there.
Oh, absolutely. And also, we'll see if he plays baseball as well up there because he's a fine two-sport athlete. But, the key to that second half, most likely, that third down situation and the roughing the passer. Just really a heartbreaking play there.
Yeah, earlier in the game. You're right. We talked about that on 3rd and I think it was 12 or so. Riverside roughed the passer and they got 15 yards, and San Bernardino goes on to score on that series. And the other one was the huge catch down here. And there was good coverage. Koss and Jennis had good coverage on him. And was a Hossack goes up there.
Yeah, what a great play.
I mean, it's nice to have a 6'5" tight end, and it helps. And you get in trouble, you can just throw it up there. And, they had good coverage on him, and you got a hit on him and everything. He just made a great catch, and you got to tip your hat to the kid and say that's a super play.
Absolutely. So John Monger really cashing in on the fact that he had so many of his own players out there, and their familiarity really paid off. The big key pass there in the fourth quarter to Saucedo, the fullback. That was a huge play as well.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And I think that Monger factor helped as far as having his own kids, your quarterback especially, which is big because that's your coach on the field, and then having done more all-star games probably than Scott did. Scott's a great coach in his own right, not knocking Scott, but the more all-star games you do, the more ins and outs you learn. And you start learning, hey, wait a minute, this isn't a good idea, this is a good idea. As a coach, the more games, the more seasons we put in, the more we learn. And that's just the way it goes. And Scott's a super coach, did a great job, but if you take away actually now 5 interceptions, Riverside County probably wins this.
Right, and Coach Monger, aside from those 27 years, he also put in a tour of duty over at Damien High School as an assistant coach. So the guy's got a lot of credentials under his belt there.
Should we tell him he doesn't look that old?
I'm going to try to catch him before he leaves. And once again, I'm going to make my pitch to get on the payroll there. He's 3-0 now when Shemp's on board doing a game. Tell you, if it's the team I want to win, I'm not going to do the game. I'll leave it to you and Rich to do, and I'll stay home and watch it. Hey, you know what? A lot of people helped out on this broadcast. You brought out one of your assistant coaches, Ron Main, who helped out on spotting and did a great job. Steve Baker, who was an offensive lineman for Eisenhower High School, was the other spotter, and they both did a great job. And down on the field, boy, you talk about a lot of people helping out. Mark Chapman, Nino Journalista, Joaquin Duncan, Julio Espino, Ingrid Harper, Lynette McLean, James Trotter, Rich Gardner, Crystal Lyle, Kenny Cox and Rodney Medina all out here helping to make this broadcast come about. It was a challenge here in the heat and the humidity. And Ken, once again, a pleasure working with you. Did a great job once again. I almost wish you weren't coaching for Norte Vista so you could stay on the broadcast with us. Fine job, and thanks again.
Hey, it was my pleasure. And it's almost football season. I'm glad we came out and did the All-Star game. And in a couple months, we strap it on. In fact, I think our first game is exactly 2 months from today.
Well, I'm sure that we're going to have Norte Vista on some of those games of the week. And this is the first broadcast that is being seen on Channel 54 in Rancho Cucamonga as well. And we're hoping to do some games as well with the San Bernardino County with Rancho Cucamonga, Altaloma, and Etiwanda High Schools. Now the charter is the cable system for Rancho Cucamonga and Altaloma as well. Final score in this ball game, San Bernardino County's All-Stars defeat the Riverside County All-Stars by a score of 19-13. For Ken Batdorf, I'm Rod Shemp, thanking you for being with us and invite you to join us next time. It'll be football again on the High School Game of the Week.